Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Phoenix, Arizona, it's time for Phoenix Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Imagine the last time you had really good sleep. It might have been last night. It may have been weeks or months or years ago. What does it feel like in the morning when you wake up? I know for me, I'm all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as they say, and filled with sunshine and get up and go and excitement. The alternate story to that is when I don't get a good night's sleep. And for me, I just shared with our guest today, Robert Taylor. He's the founder and CEO of Taylormade Sleep Services and Consulting. I shared with him in our green room, I'm not sleeping well right now. So I am very excited about this conversation today to find out why it's important, what Taylormade Sleep Services and Consulting does, and all things considered, getting my sleep act together, because every other aspect of my life is humming pretty well. So with that, welcome to Phoenix Business Radio. We are broadcasting live from the Max 6 Entrepreneur Center right here in Tempe, Arizona, where we help build businesses and connect you with the right people. I'm Karen Nowicki, and as I mentioned, we're very excited to have Robert Taylor in the house today. Again, founder and CEO of Taylormade Sleep Services and Consulting. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're from Mesa, I think I saw.
Yeah, my location is in Mesa.
Okay.
I'm originally from Texas. I'm from Houston. So I've been in Arizona probably, I think this is my second year.
So new.
New to Arizona.
And how
yeah.
are we treating you? You like Arizona?
It's still growing on me. The first year, COVID, so couldn't do
Right.
anything. Everything was shut down. This year, doing a little bit more hiking and bars and
Yeah.
restaurants.
Making your rounds.
Yeah,
Good.
so I like it. It's cool.
And can I ask what brought you from Houston to Arizona?
Yeah, I was in a relationship, and so it was either you move here or I move there, and so I needed more capital, honestly, to really put more into my business. So I was like, screw it, I'll just sell my house and move,
And do it.
and I did it.
Very
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I love it. Even though these are business shows, oftentimes when I ask that question, it's a relationship that either
Yeah.
brought somebody here or had them saying, I got to get out.
Yeah,
And this is where I decided to come.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's business related or family, that kind of thing. But very often
Right.
it's relationship. So shout out to your partner who got you here.
Yeah, I know, right? She lives in Nebraska now, so it's,
Oh,
yeah. Shouts out to her, though.
still a shout out. Very
Appreciate
good.
it.
Very good. All right. So tell us about Taylormade and who are you? Who do you serve?
Mhm.
And then we'll talk a little bit about your background and why this particular business. And then I really am anxious to hear
Right.
some of the nuts and bolts around why it's so important for me to sleep better again.
Excellent. No problem. Okay, so I've been in sleep for about, I want to say close to 18 years. I've done a lot of things. I'm ex-military. I was an engineer in the Navy.
Thank you.
Right after 9/11, I literally enlisted and went right to Iraq. So that was, so I did a lot of labor work, which is really crazy, which a lot of people till this day is just like, wow, you really went left, right, when you got into this field. I was going to go back to school for nursing when I got back, when I became a civilian again. And a girlfriend of mine at that time worked in the sleep lab and was like, we can really use technicians and things of that nature. So you would be hired if you went to the Texas School of Sleep Medicine. So I was like, well, how much is the pay?
Yeah.
And at that point, I was making $15 an hour, working 12-hour days in the heat, going offshore, this and that. And I was going to get, at that point, $17 an hour to basically sit on my behind and watch someone sleep. I was like,
I can do that.
oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Heck yeah. So the goal was to, work nights and then go to nursing school during the day. And I don't know why. I just fell in love with the whole concept of sleep is the center of everybody's universe, and sleep is so important. And this was like 18 years ago when it just clicked on me to where, if you don't get proper sleep, every aspect of your life could be ruined, right? So many times people snore and have apnea and sleep in separate bedrooms, and then they end up getting a divorce,
Yep.
right? Obesity, things of that nature. Well, if you're always tired, fatigued, 9 times out of 10, you don't have the intensity to work out and or make proper meals, fast food, this and that. It's a downward slope and it's really, really sad that people don't really think too much about sleep. And I think the beautiful thing about COVID when it happened, everybody had to slow down and realize, damn, I'm still tired, right?
Mhm.
Something's really wrong with my sleep now. So it got some people to actually slow down and things of that nature, which is really important. But that's honestly what I love so much about this field. And when I was learning so much about how it affects the brain, how it affects the heart, how it affects testosterone, hormone levels for women,
Hmm.
thyroid issues, things of that nature. And it just fascinated me so much I never left the field.
Yeah.
So I did tech work for a good while. And then you work 12-hour shifts, right? So technically you get your 40 hours in 3 nights. So I was so gung ho about it. And I've always been a hard worker. Obviously in the military, you work 24, 36 hours straight and without sleep. So it was easy for me. So I would literally work 3 nights at this one place, and then work 3 nights at a hospital and have one day off a week. And so that's 40, 40. So basically 80 hours a week
Jeez.
just to learn, soak it
Mhm.
in. And the second year, I started learn how to score studies, which is basically what you need to do in order to interpret study, arousals, brain activity, respiratory events, EKG abnormalities, saturation levels, all that good stuff. And you do all that so a doctor can basically spend 5 minutes. Yeah, that's right. And this is the diagnosis. And I started doing all that. And I started doing interpretations for physicians who oversaw me. Then I started doing startup labs. And then I started doing travel neurodiagnostics for underserved communities. Like, had a lot of patients that had a lot of issues that needed to have sleep tests, but didn't have registered techs to actually do them.
Yeah.
And it would always be in the worst places that okay, I'm not gonna say Iowa was worst place. It would always happen when it's really cold. North Dakota was like -40. They wanted me to go there. And then Iowa, God knows,
So of course you're in Arizona.
Yeah, so of course I love Arizona. This is the best. So I did that for a few years and I started realizing that, I'm taking all the risk, right? Moving and this and that, while the staffing company is taking half my pay and I get the other half.
Right.
Because I started to realize that for my labor, they're billing hospitals $75 an hour. I'm only getting 30 of that.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah. But when I found that out, I walked right into HR and I was like, what do I have to do to basically staff myself? And they told me they were really, really nice. And at that point, I've been doing it for a few years. I had connections in a lot of different hospitals. So they told me, get your LLC, put your
Yeah.
insurance, this and that, and then basically get a bid. Okay. I did that literally like in about a week or two. And I started my own staffing
Wow.
company. That's how originally Taylormade started. I started staffing myself to hospitals, right? Like well, they would call me because the beautiful thing about it, there was no red tape to
Right.
where when you go to a bigger conglomerate, $75, but it's this and this and this and this and this. Well, if they're going to charge you $75, I'll charge you 65 because it's all coming to me. I don't need to,
Mhm.
and that's how it
Brilliant.
was working. So I literally, as crazy as I would be working 3 nights. Actually, with this other one, I worked 6 nights straight, but I wiggled it to where it was 3 nights on one week, 3 nights on the other, so that would cover my 2 weeks, and I would be off 9 days, and I would be bored. So
But did you sleep?
I did sleep.
Those
I
9 days?
I screwed up my because I worked. I screwed up my sleep so bad because I had a contract in Iowa and I also had a contract in Wyoming. So I would work my 6 nights and literally right when I get off, book it to an airplane, fly, catch 2 flights to get to
Yeah.
Wyoming, take a little rest that night, and then start that shift. So I had 2 contracts all at once, just flying back and forth,
Yeah.
killing it, just loving it. And then at the same time, I was focusing on the telehealth aspect of home sleep testing and what can I do different and things of that nature. And I was just about to launch it because I was actually going to start pulling myself back from
Yeah.
the travel aspect and start staffing people myself. COVID
COVID.
hit.
Yep.
Well, all that momentum got lost.
Yeah.
So it was just like, okay. And since I was traveling at that point anyway, that's when it was just like, well, what's the point in even having a house in Texas? I'm never there. So that prompted more of a move anyway. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'll just sell the house, have more capital, this and that. And I launched the telehealth, the telehealth aspect, which the the frustrating thing I think about, and it always gets to me because I would be in airports and I would be in restaurants and I would be in bars, unfortunately. Maybe you should edit that part out. I'm just playing. I would be all over the place. And people would literally always, you're in scrubs. What do you do for a living? They're always curious. Are you a massage therapist? Or like, are you an athletic trainer? And like in scrubs? No, I do sleep studies and this and that. And this is when I was traveling, and this is what started the idea to start a telehealth aspect. People always ask, like, God, my sleep is this and that, or my husband's this and that, or my
Mhm.
kids this and that. How do I go about getting a sleep study? Nobody knew. And it's like the traditional route. It's always go to your PCP. Your PCP isn't a specialist in sleep, so he's going to send you to somebody that is a specialist in sleep, and that specialist is going to send you to a lab, and that lab is going to schedule you. Did you go back to the specialist for your results? And then you go back to the lab for a second night. Oh yeah, oh it's long. And then you go back to that specialist for the second night results, and then that specialist sends you back to your PCP, where finally now you can get on treatment. That takes 3 months.
Sure.
3-month process and upwards of about 3,500 to 4,500 bucks, even with insurance.
Hmm.
I know because I used to charge the patients the amount of money per study. If you don't have Medicare and you have your deductibles high and out of pocket, you're literally looking at paying $700 or $800 a study. And the
Wow.
lab wants to do 2 studies, one to diagnose you, one for CPAP, and then your prescription. And it takes 3 months.
Mhm.
And that bothered me. Like, there has to be a better way, right? Like, and then, 25 million people go undiagnosed every year. And I think that number is actually higher now. Every year,
Diagnosed with sleep apnea?
undiagnosed.
Oh,
Yeah.
undiagnosed with some sort of sleep disorder.
hmm
Uh-huh.
And sleep apnea
Okay.
too. They all suffer from daytime fatigue, obesity, all the typical stuff. Refuse to be tested based on the fact that that is the way it's done. Half the people nowadays don't even want to go to a doctor. They really don't.
Right.
Like, and that's sad.
And we
but
understand why, because not only just with the sleep situation, that's how it is for anything.
Yeah.
No matter what
People don't want to find out.
ailment is. Well, they
Right.
don't want to find out. And who wants to go through all of that routine?
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
It's very, very time consuming and very inconvenient for
Yeah.
somebody that, if you're Medicare, honestly, you're retired.
Yeah.
You have all the time. But for the go generation, the
Yeah.
commercial carriers of insurance, the truck drivers, the airplane pilots, the engineers, the teachers, the radio hosts,
Mhm.
you don't have time to basically, I need to book this appointment. And then you go there and wait an hour and then spend literally 20, 25 minutes with maybe a nurse assistant, and then you get 5 minutes with the doc, and that's it. And I don't blame them, honestly, because look, I get it.
Yeah.
Insurance has cut reimbursement left and right on doctor visits. It's honestly kind of ruined a little bit of what a primary care actually does, which is we really want to, the whole spending 30, 40 minutes with the patient, with the doctor spending that much time with you
Right.
is literally tossed out the window based on the fact that they don't get reimbursed as much.
Yep.
So they need volume to basically keep their doors open. So I understand that, but so do the patients. And so every time I would be questioned with that, how can I make it better? How can I make it better? Because there are home sleep companies out there and this and that. How are they doing this? Are they only offering one option of treatment and this and that? And then finally, I just figured it out and said, okay, screw it. I'm going to make all my mistakes, but I'm launching. I'm doing it. I'm going to go for it. I made a lot of mistakes originally.
So does every entrepreneur,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's the anthem for entrepreneurship is being willing to make the mistakes
Mhm.
and failing forward.
Right.
So, yeah. So how are you fixing the system through what you're offering and what is it that you offer?
Streamlined approach. A lot of places, they'll do home studies on patients. And what I found out, and then it's not everybody, so I'm not, knocking people.
Sure.
They come back and say that the results are inconclusive when they actually are conclusive. They use home sleep testing to get you to go to the lab eventually so that insurance can actually cover it. And I know this, I've ran labs. This is
This is a thing.
it is a thing. If we can't get you approved to do an in-lab, we can get you approved to do a home sleep test, and we can easily send insurance the information that the study was inconclusive, which it was. It was conclusive. Because I've actually seen patients that have come to me, and I'm like, well, when did you do your last study? They'll show it to me, and at AHI 15, that's moderate sleep apnea. How is that inconclusive? And they're like, I don't know. They said it was inconclusive, and I had to go to the lab. So I was like, okay, so that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
I use a streamlined approach to where telehealth aspect goes, we'll educate you and evaluate you at any time. So we'll let you determine when you want to be contacted, what day you want to be contacted, all that good stuff, easily by basically going to the website and booking an appointment. So if they went to taylormadesleep.com, and booked an appointment, we have different ones, whether it's sleep and depression, low T in sleep,
Smart.
or you need a home study. Like, some people that don't know that they may need to have a sleep study.
But they can relate to the ailment or the
Exactly.
challenge for sure.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
So,
and Taylormade, I mean, hello.
well,
How perfect is that?
yeah, I had to put my name in
But
the company.
the way you're describing it, of course, it's tailor-made, it's very
Right.
specific, it's holistic.
Right.
Okay, so we can go to the website,
Mhm.
we can book a study.
Mhm. Book the evaluation first to see if you need a study. Right now, we're actually updating the website too, to where if you already know you need to have a study, you can actually book
Okay.
for a sleep study as well, immediately. But in some cases, some people, they don't know.
Yeah.
Do I really need one or not? This and that. So book to talk to a specialist.
Nice.
And they'll have their time confirming. Our specialist will give them a call at the designated time. They could be driving, they could be washing dishes, they can be in bed. I mean, we stay open till 10. So, and we're nationwide, so time zone definitely matters. So,
Can I ask why you stay open until 10? Is that a strategic move?
Mhm. Because after 5 o'clock, what are you doing?
While winding down, I'm no longer working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably starting to feel all of my ailments, I'm
Mhm.
guessing, and I'm preparing at some point to go to sleep. For
Right.
me,
Yeah.
at some point we might talk about it, but I've been,
Oh, we're
I've
going to talk about it already.
I typically, my 14-year-old laughs at me. It's just the two of us left at home.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes am in bed by 8:30,
Mm.
and I'm getting up at 5,
Okay.
5 or 6, but I'm spent by then. And part of that was a habit. I think you're the sleep specialist, so you would tell me. But I think part of it is a habit that was created after a traumatic experience,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of survival mode.
Right.
And I'm getting a little bit better about staying up later. Sometimes even 9:30, 10. Wow, yes,
Ooh,
big deal.
whoa.
And yet I'm waking up at 3 a.m. like clockwork almost every morning. So we don't have to diagnose that. But I think for our listeners, that's a
Right.
great example of. So my original question is, why are you open till 10?
Mm-hmm.
But is it because people are winding down? They're actually thinking about all the things they've got to be doing.
Exactly.
I have to schedule an appointment for my dog's vet appointment,
Uh-huh.
but they're closed at 5. And so I'm busy working all day and I keep putting it off.
There you
So
go.
I'm guessing that's probably,
Exactly. Exactly.
that's wonderful.
So most of the time when people are at home after work and when things slow down, sometimes you realize how tired you actually are. When you
Mhm.
go, this and that, blah, 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 it's not really going to hit you until you get home, till you unwind. And then at home, too, there are commercials about snoring and things of that nature, which, by the way, Taylormade Sleep is coming out with one soon, just an FYI.
Congrats.
And then it hits, dang, yeah, I do snore. Dang, this and that. And then
Yeah, I
you
can
start having,
relate.
conversations with wife and this and that, and then realizing, man, I've been sleeping in separate rooms for years and this and that.
Mhm.
Maybe it's time. Maybe this is why I'm tired. We're open till 10. Boom, you can book an
Yep.
appointment. So,
So good.
and if we aren't booked, we can talk to you literally that night.
Yeah.
And doing it in different time zones, our 10 o'clock and Central Time is 12. And then you go, all the way across to New York. That's what, that's 1? Yeah. There's a lot of time where people are actually kind of having that insomnia moment and can't sleep.
Yeah.
And that's when all those ads pop up on TV.
Right.
So it feels like, wow, all these ads, this and that. Oh, wow. This is, although we're based in here, my Google stuff
matter,
is,
yeah.
is nationwide.
Good.
So we definitely pop up. And I actually try to make sure my ads are more active around that time so that, at that point, when you look it up, boom, my name should pop up first.
Mhm.
Wow, they can do evaluations now from home right now. Boom, book. It's worked out great. Now, sometimes it's backfired. I don't need to know all that, but, it definitely helps. But I think, yeah, when people try to slow down and realize, hey, there is a
Something's
problem here. I
wrong,
was
yeah.
really tired today. I was really tired yesterday. I've been tired a lot. A lot of people, and I myself was one of these, autopilot, where the
Mhm.
brain, you have purpose every day. You got to go. You have what, 2 kids?
I have 3, but the only one is left with me at home.
Oh,
Mhm. Yeah, the other 2
congratulations.
adults. They're adulting in the area.
But you're always going. Mom mode never shuts down, right? And women by far are the worst patients sometimes, as far as like they're not the worst as far as like once they're diagnosed like apnea, like once you find their problem,
They'll take care of
they'll
it.
take care of it. Oh yeah, give me the mask. I don't care. Give it up. But getting to that point with them is tough because when you talk about, well, do you suffer from daytime fatigue? Well, I don't know. Are you suffering from this? I really don't know that either.
Mhm.
It's not. It's because they do 300 things at once, and a lot of times they want to contribute their fatigue to their environment, which goes into it a lot. But also, too, how are you sleeping? And that's always the question that is not asked,
Mhm.
even in doctor visits or just in general. And then some of it's the patient's deal too, because they're not being forthcoming with their ailments, right? It's
Mhm. Mhm.
depression, pill. I can't sleep, pill.
Yep.
Can't get it up, pill.
Yep.
High blood pressure, pill. There's always a pill. So in American culture, we're desensitized to medication all the time, right? Which is why now holistic medicine and naturopaths and things of that nature, to me, it looks like it's on an uptick.
Finally.
Yes.
Because we are a whole system,
Mhm.
right? And so it's nutrition, it's your environment,
Right.
it's all of those things. And if we're not,
Right.
so is that part of what you do as consultants?
Mhm.
You are having those conversations from a holistic perspective, in addition to offering the studies.
Mhm.
And then, so I've done my study. You're familiar with my story and what's going on with me. Then
Mhm.
what's the next? What are some of the next options? And are you the guys the ones that handle that?
We are. So we're an all inclusive, right? We offer two different ones.
Mhm.
Baseline is just we'll do a telehealth evaluation, send you the study. Also, we use sleep image, which is a ring that goes on your thumb. It's really neat. It uses cardiopulmonary coupling to determine sleep quality, to determine apnea, to determine spikes in your EKG, to determine fragmentation, to
Wow.
determine latency. It is extremely accurate. I was very, very impressed with it because I was using the apnea link before, which is a 3-lead system that literally, you have to stick a nasal sensor in and this and that. And it was just getting
Cumbersome.
because it will take 2 or 3 days to get the unit to you, sleep with it for a night, ship it back. It's like a 10-day turnaround. With Sleep Image, we use their cloud system. So the data automatically
Oh,
gets
wow.
uploaded immediately. So I ask patients to sleep with it for 2 nights. One night, no drinking, no sedatives, nothing. Next night, sleep how you normally would. If you have a beer before bed, do that. If
Yeah.
you do whatever you do before bed, do that. If you, all that stuff, because I actually want to compare the quality of your sleep was
Yeah.
better the second night than the first night. What was your AHI this night than that night? Are these sedatives really working for you? Are they, so we can go into that detail, but we get the results immediately. Our physicians actually read it, right? Interpret all that good stuff. And then we send the patient basically a link, let them know, hey, we have your results, we have the data. Use this link to book another time to basically talk at your convenience. They book that time, we give them a call, we go through the gambit of what we saw.
Mhm.
If they have apnea, upper air resistance, things of that nature, we go over the treatment options that some insurances do cover and some are cash pay. We go over the cost of everything, things of that nature. And we try to allow the patient to make the best decision possible. Our goal is to educate them, to let them know that PAP therapy is not, and I have to stress this, not everybody needs to wear a CPAP.
Mhm.
And if that is your main reason, and that typically is the main reason why people do not want to get tested in the first place,
Mhm.
we have alternatives.
And PAP therapy is the CPAP.
The mask,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's mainly, honestly, if your apnea is that severe, meaning, okay, so apnea is when you stop breathing at least
Mhm.
10 seconds,
Mhm.
minimum. I've seen people not breathe for a minute and a half and have no clue. And they do this 40 or 50 times an hour and have no idea that it's happening.
Mhm.
For those, PAP therapy is your best bet.
Sure, but there are other alternatives.
Mhm.
We don't have to be afraid that that is the only answer.
Exactly. Which is, again, why people don't really
Yeah.
want. I can't see myself wearing a mask. How do you know you need to?
Yeah.
So
We've made the decision ahead of time.
yeah, exactly. But also too, everybody has talked to somebody else that's had the sleep study that's gone through that normal
Yeah.
gambit, and it's like it's sleeping in a different room in a bed you're not familiar with 60 leads attached to you. Oh, and I'm going to watch you through a camera, and I want you to sleep well. Oh, you have to ask to go to the bathroom too. You can't just get up. Don't do it. Don't do it. We'll yell at you. We'll yell at you through. I've had to do that a couple of times. It's not normal,
Yeah.
right? So who the hell wants to go through that experience? Again, yeah, we use the sleep image ring that it goes on your thumb. Sleep with it for 2 nights. We get the results. We go through everything, and whatever option you want to go to, we have a vendor for. Whether it's, PAP therapy, we have vendors that actually distribute it. We will generate the prescription. We'll do all the heavy lifting. We'll send them your insurance information, get it approved, done deal. You just relax. We'll take
Wow.
care of it. MRDs, if you have a dentist that does it, we'll actually, look up your zip code and see who's around the area that does it, take all this information to them, get a free evaluation for it, try to get the mouth guard.
MRD. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other company. So before we went live, I was
Mhm.
saying to you, I know we've had sleep conversations here at Business Radio X before. We mentioned one that was just on Tycoon's a Small Business.
Okay.
She's a doctor that refers you.
Mhm.
The other one was a dentist, was a dental company that does the mouth
Oh,
guards.
yeah.
I couldn't remember because it's been years, but I was so fascinated with this
Mhm.
conversation. So yes, that was the other.
They work.
There's a big dental component to this, the
Yes.
way our jaw is set, right?
Correct, yeah. So in some cases, like, say people always had a deviated septum or nasal sinuses
Yes.
and things, or collapsing wall in the
Things you
nose.
wouldn't think about that would relate to sleep and
Exactly.
rest.
Well, exactly. Well, because for the most part, if your bottom jaw is underdeveloped, based on the fact that you breathe through it all the time, it's actually behind your upper jaw. So the MRD actually moves it
I
forward a bit
remember
to
learning that,
open up the
blown
airway.
away by that.
Yeah, it works. It's not the most comfortable thing, but it does
But for
work.
some people, a
Mhm.
mask and
Or that.
apparatuses or possibly that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so it helps for mild to moderate cases,
Sure,
though, because
sure.
it generally will cut the AHI in half. In some cases, patients use an MRD in conjunction with another therapy, in conjunction with losing weight, in conjunction with positional therapy
I'm
as
glad
well.
you asked that because that was my next question.
Mhm.
And it sounds like you take care of this for us through Taylormade. So say I do my sleep study, we get back and we have a consultation. You're telling me what my options are and kind of what the diagnosis is.
Mhm.
Because you're a holistic company, I'd be the kind of patient that would say, listen, I'm just mild to moderate. I'm guessing I would be.
Right.
What can I do alternatively
Mhm.
before I have to wear a mouth guard or a CPAP? And so you would help me with some lifestyle adjustments.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Correct. Positional therapy, if your BMI is a little too high, obviously losing weight. But I mean, look, there are other options as well too, other than the mouth guard. There's Snorlays. They do that in Scottsdale, where they literally take a laser and use it to kind of tighten up your soft palate, which some patients see dividends immediately.
Wow.
Some it takes time. You have to typically get 3 of those done. It's pricey, but it's been proven to work.
Yeah.
The Excite OSA, it's a newest therapy that's been out in America for 2 years, but it's been in other countries. And we actually distribute this ourselves. It's a muscle stimulator for the tongue. Most patients that have apnea, it's due to the fact that your tongue is falling into your airway based on the fact that your muscles are weak, so gravity can easily pull it back.
Interesting.
So what if you gave it a 20-minute workout a day to strengthen those muscles? It'll prevent it. Like, patients have seen results in between 4 to 8 weeks, and it's amazing. We do a pre and post on a patient to verify and validate that it is working. And if that device isn't working, we actually give them a refund if they turn it back in.
Wow.
So we do the best we can all the way down to help. But I think the Excite is extremely popular now. I actually use it as well. I used it prior to promoting it and prescribing it to patients, but it gives people hope, right? I mean, not everybody wants to wear a mask, but if that doesn't work, then this doesn't work, then this doesn't work. Surgery is your last option, and you don't really want to go that route just yet. Unfortunately, insurance mainly will cover the surgery, and they may not cover other things, which is just the weirdest.
It's not surprising at all.
Thing ever. Yeah,
It's just the way that
poor people.
Yes.
Hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
But yeah, we take care of everything, which is why I say we're all inclusive. And now we have a supplement line as well that is going to be launching also to help with serotonin levels, to help with your adrenal levels, to help
So good.
prevent brain fog with magnesium and things of that nature. To take it a step further, because I think now I want to have more of a wellness approach with sleep, to where at some point we'll be employing sleep coaches that work
So good.
with Taylormade as well.
Yep.
Because again, like
The follow-up and the accountability. That's what I think of when
Exactly.
I think of coaching, right?
Right.
You can share the advice and you can give me a plan.
Mhm.
And if I go off on my own, some people will be good with it, some won't.
Right.
Old habits die hard. And
Right.
so that would be the piece of it, right? I would be in
Correct.
relationship, an ongoing relationship with somebody, checking in, making sure I'm staying motivated, that sort of
Mhm.
thing. I love
Right.
it.
I mean, just also, like, what are you doing before you go to bed, right? Like you said, your wine time down, right?
Mhm.
I can't even say that. Your wine time down. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people seem to think that you can have this stressful day, you can come home, you can shower and jump right in bed,
Mhm.
right? What they don't realize is that you're bringing all that stress home. You're bringing that stress to the dinner table. You're bringing that stress to the bedroom. The bedroom's made for 2 things now.
Yep.
Stress ain't one of them, Okay,
right?
get rid of it.
It
Right?
shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but
Yeah.
you'd be surprised and are shocked that they're not getting deep levels of sleep. And half the time, people are in the bedroom on their phone. That blue light ruins melatonin levels, tricks your brain to thinking that it's daytime. So it's not going to release the
Wow.
melatonin normal to
Mhm.
get you to deep sleep and wonder why, oh, I can't sleep. Well, you're on your phone for 2, 3 hours while you're in bed when you should be
Mhm.
sleeping.
Mhm.
So coaching it will be more on that aspect. Your wine time down. Why can I say that? Your wine time. What are you doing to relax prior to going to bed?
Yes.
Everybody needs to have a routine.
Yep.
If you're trying to go to bed at 8, 9, or 10,
7:30.
7:30, what are you doing 2 hours prior?
Yep.
Right? You can't just get off work at 9:30, eat a hamburger from McDonald's, and take a shower and jump in bed. That's not a good routine.
Right.
Everybody needs to have at least a 2-hour window to where you de-stress.
Mhm.
I say take a nice long shower, use scented candles and things of that
Mhm.
nature.
Mhm.
People sleep better when it rains, so get a noisemaker. Don't go into the bedroom until you're absolutely ready to fall asleep. Maybe take a sleep aid here and there, not Ambien and stuff like that, but the Taylormade sleep aids are pretty doggone good apparently.
There's the radio voice we were waiting for.
It was coming. It was coming. Yeah, there you
Bound to
go.
happen any point. I love it.
But yeah, overall aspect of that is what we want to
Yeah.
do. I think I told a friend of mine, I was like, at some point I'm going to be the Amazon of sleep, meaning any treatment option
Yeah.
will funnel through Taylormade. Pillows funnel through Taylormade.
Love it.
Bedding through Taylormade. Mattress companies, things of that nature funnel through Taylormade
Yeah.
to where we literally could be your one-stop shop for everything in sleep. You don't need to look any further. You need diagnostic testing done. You need an evaluation done. You need a new bed done. Well, a lot of people don't realize too is you can actually get insurance to cover a Tempur-Pedic bed, adjustable,
Hmm.
with the right notes.
So that goes back to the relationship that you have with practicing doctors.
Mm-hmm.
You do work in tandem with them.
With some, yeah. So my company is more community driven, not physician driven.
I
Since
love it.
since I employ board certified physicians, the people can come directly to us, which I think
Mhm.
was a big problem.
Yep.
Since a lot of people don't want to go to physicians. Now, granted, if you do and they refer you to us, we'll help you just like we help everybody else.
And why could we pause? Why would a physician refer a patient to you? They've come to them and they just know that Taylormade's
Mm-hmm.
got it made.
We're the specialist.
Yeah, you're the
Right.
specialist. And so, okay, that's what I was listening for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of primary care physicians, it's not their wheelhouse, right?
Right.
They don't really want to deal with all, whether they want to admit it or not. I don't want to deal with all this other stuff like that.
And they're not the specialists.
Right.
You obviously are on the cutting edge of sleep studies and
Mhm.
apparatuses and medicine and all those things.
Right.
And again, looking at the patient through the lens of what's going on in your life holistically.
Right.
And yet a doctor, as we described very early on in the segment, oftentimes they don't have time for it unless
Exactly.
it's their thing. So of
Right.
course that makes sense that you would work in tandem with them. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. We like the one. We always,
And I can also reach out on my own. Yeah,
exactly.
okay.
Which I think that aspect of it is so much. That's what makes Taylormade. Honestly, like
Mhm.
you're in the middle of the night in the bed. I need to get this fixed. Boom, book, just like that.
Mhm.
No, I need to book with a doctor. This and that. Yada yada yada. Again, we can take care of it all in house. We welcome referrals from physicians, but again, I love the fact that people literally purposely seek us out in communities
Of course.
for help. That to me, that just means that we're doing really, really good work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about good work. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now, let's say?
Mm-hmm.
And this feels to me like a legacy business. Like this is really your passion and purpose has been for 18 years, I
Yes,
think you
ma'am.
said.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, where do you see the company in 5 years? And then talk a little bit about legacy.
I obviously adding sleep coaching, probably
Love it.
building more supplementation line for that deals with sleep and aiding people in sleep and aiding people in wake. Good natural vitamin stuff, nothing hard pharmaceutical stuff like that.
CBD, you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm looking into that right now.
Good.
I've tried a few things with CBD because I sometimes have that issue of I can't shut my brain off.
Uh-huh.
Some sleep aids won't do it, but a CBD actually
Yeah.
will. It actually will aid you in relaxing and things of that nature.
We have a great connection for you if you need one.
I do. Yeah.
we would love to make that connection.
Beautiful.
There's a woman who was on with us not too long ago who owns a company, and she's dynamite. I think you two
Really?
would really hit it off.
Oh,
So
I would love
yes,
that. Yeah,
good.
that'd be great.
Okay, so yes, definitely. You had already spoken to that, so I
Yeah.
apologize for asking
No,
that
no, no, no.
question.
That was
But
good.
yeah,
That was good.
I love that. Again, becoming the Amazon of
Right.
the sleep
And
industry.
Amazon's everywhere. There's a
Yeah.
site everywhere. So obviously I'm going to want more than
Yeah.
one site to take care to fill the need. But it all goes with the need, right? Like
Mhm.
if the people need it, I want to supply it. So
Mhm.
if I see something out there to where sound therapy is actually getting pretty important as far as like theta wave music and stuff
Yep,
like that.
that's what I've been doing. I'm
Right.
listening to the higher frequency music.
Yeah.
I'm making a lot of those adjustments. You know, the
Hmm.
phone's not coming into the room with me anymore. I'm not necessarily winding down, you know, not even sometimes an hour before, but
Hmm.
that's the other piece that I need to put into
Well,
practice.
you're
But
going to bed pretty early anyway.
right, right.
Is
I'm going to
that
be
a lot
leaving
of-
here at 3. Daryl, I'm out of here and I'm
Oh
picking
my
up my son
God.
and going to bed. It really was survival mode for a long time, and I've been very aware that it became a habit.
Hmm.
And so I've been working on breaking the habit. I mean, I have gotten better. And then I just recently had a total hip replacement 5 weeks ago. And
Oh,
so for
wow.
me, kind of, you know, again, having to repair my body and make sure
Hmm.
I've been healthy and healing and all that, I've kind of, you know, stepped back into
Right.
a mode where sleep is important,
Right.
but I'm resting more during the day. So anyway, yeah, this is a fascinating
But
conversation.
that's awesome though. But you mentioned something right there, habits.
Yes.
And that's where the coaching comes into play.
Yes.
Because bad habits, like the song says, bad habits, man, I tell you.
Yeah.
People have horrible habits when it comes to sleep because they neglect it so much. Because, again, there's a pill for everything, energy drink for everything, a shot for everything, this and that, B12, this
Give
and
it
that.
to me now, right now.
Exactly.
Keep me
So
going.
I can keep going
Yep.
versus I might have a problem,
Uh-huh.
right? And it's not until they have a stroke or a heart attack till they realize. And so this story is what got me really like I needed to make a change, right? So I had a patient who's a truck driver. Truck drivers
Mm.
have to have a sleep study done. He had issues with his blood pressure for years. And all that was being done to him was let's change this medication, let's change this, let's change that. Dieting and stuff like that was mentioned. Now, granted, he could have done better about that, but
Sure.
he didn't.
Real quick, if you don't mind pausing, if we as a patient can't connect the dots to nutrition or
Mhm.
exercise and some of those things, and our medical team isn't doing it for us,
Right.
of course we're missing the mark and we keep prescribing things, right? Which again
Right.
goes back to why it's so important to what you're doing. So I apologize for interrupting, but
No, you're
that's
right.
not everybody has the ability to be self-reflective and go, huh, I wonder if drinking 2 energy drinks a day is
Right.
impacting. And it seems very obvious to many people, but for some people, they're so habitual
Mhm.
with their behaviors and have been brought up that way or been in the grind for so long,
Right.
they don't know any different. So apologize. The truck
No,
driver
you're right.
should have been looking at this for a while.
Should have, but also to his physician should have been too. And it was never asked. How are you sleeping? Do you snore by any chance? Right?
Mhm.
Because like quality bad sleep contributes to blood pressure because your blood pressure can't regulate due to the fact that you're probably stressing yourself out more
Mhm.
at night due to apnea than during the day. So it's always high. His was always high. He had a stroke and he was in the hospital. A nurse walked by and noticed he was choking in his sleep. Immediately put him on an autopap while he was in there. And when he got out, the nurse told him, "You desperately need to have a sleep study." So he had to go back to his doctor and told him, "Hey, I was told I have apnea and this and that." Okay, yeah, you need to have a sleep study. 80 events an hour.
Oh my gosh. What's typical?
24 severe.
Oh my goodness.
80 events is holy, you know what, you have apnea. Never was tested. He, you
And
know,
he's driving a
and
truck
he
professionally.
can't do it anymore. He stroked out.
Oh,
You have a stroke, you can't. So we fixed his apnea.
but change of income.
How is he going to provide for his family?
Wow.
What if we caught that in time? And that right there was I have had enough of this crap moment. And that's what really made me push for change because that shouldn't happen.
No.
I mean, the signs and symptoms of that obesity, high blood pressure. Lord knows he had other issues too because I've seen his chart.
Mhm.
Why wasn't, hey man, how are you sleeping ever asked?
Mhm.
And it never was. It was a nurse who was just doing a shift that saw that he was not breathing. And
Jeez.
then after we treated him, he woke up feeling like a new man. And holy hell, my God, this and like, yeah, that's what good quality
Instantly.
sleep feels like. Fortunately, you can't drive trucks anymore. What are you going to do? And so that at that moment, and then there was another moment where I felt the patient was actually getting this $1,200 for a sleep study. It was a little, and conscience wise, it felt bad. I felt really bad because I knew that patient was going to have to come back for a second night and pay another $1,200.
Mm.
And it was just like, I'm kind of tired of working for people that I know I'm smarter than, unfortunately. And, this is a lot of money to pay for this.
Mm-hmm.
And half the people that get on PAP therapy quit. So you basically spend 45 to 50,000 or 4,500 to $5,000
To get the
to
diagnosis.
get diagnosis and get on the machine and literally shelf it in 2 weeks. And then there's no follow-up after that.
Right.
9 times out of 10, there's no follow-up. Some medical equipment companies do have compliance stuff, but if someone just refuses to use it,
Yeah.
you can't,
No, what do you do?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But yeah, again, the more wellness approach, maybe trying to join more corporate wellness networks.
So that's what I was going to ask, right? So this is business radio, so we're always listening for who can we help make introductions for you,
Yeah.
and who, as you grow and expand and live this legacy and help people through their sleep. What other introductions do you need, and who do you want to find yourself in front of?
More community driven leaders, wellness groups, wellness companies, things of that nature that have wellness programs, companies that have FSA, like health savings accounts, flexible spending accounts, because we're a cash pay organization initially. DOT, truck drivers, airplane pilots, any commercial motive, what do they call it? Commercial motor.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
DOT.
you know what I mean. Yeah. But yeah, and just all out communities. I think you'll get more bang for your buck if I can get in front of groups of people to educate them versus just one person at a time.
Right.
Because everybody's going to have that aha moment. And I think the wellness aspect is definitely where it's at, because if we make them healthier and we prevent fatigue, they're going to be, one, more productive at work. 2, they're not going to have to go to the doctors as often for high blood pressure, this and this and this, because if this is the problem, that fix it.
Yeah.
So it literally saves them. Honestly, if you look at it, if this gets down to the root cause of the issue as to why your employees are not healthy, it saves you millions in the long run. And we just need a substantial fee per month to test as many patients as you want, blah, 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 and then do education seminars and stuff like that. I really like being in front of people.
Clearly, you're good at it.
Yeah.
Right. Personable and wise. Yeah. Good. So good. Is there anything? So this is your legacy. I'm making an assumption, but this is what you've been put on this earth to do.
I feel it is. I've never felt like I was meant to work for anyone, regardless of, you ever get that feeling to where it's like, God, just.
Oh, yes.
I always ask why, even in the military.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this, Captain? Why do I need to fix this? Why? It was just like, no, like anytime you don't follow blindly, you're naturally a leader. And I want to leave something, obviously my name being on a big gigantic building would be great, but leave something. I have a 1-year-old son. To tell him the story of, all the walls that were built up to stop your dad from doing this. Your dad
blew
just
through him.
Ran right through him, didn't listen, and look where we are, right? It's not something maybe I'll hand over to him. I would like him to pave his own way.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, no one can deny that.
You made it happen.
I'm a business owner. And that, to me, is pretty awesome.
For sure. Oh, great place to end our conversation today. This has been exciting and informative, and I've jotted down some connections that we have for you. Would love to continue to learn more and get you in front of the people that you can help make a difference. This has been Phoenix Business Radio. We're with Robert Taylor. He again is the founder and CEO of Taylormade Sleep Services and Consulting. And where do we find you website-wise and all that good stuff?
You can find me at taylormadesleep.com, or you can call 480-524-8418. On Instagram, we're at Taylormade_sleep_services. Facebook is Taylormade Sleep Services. LinkedIn, it's Taylormade Sleep Services.
Yes, good. all the places where you need to be so people can find out about you.
Pretty
Fantastic.
much.
Is there anything that I hadn't thought to ask or that, we had kind of covered ahead of time that we want to make sure our listeners know? Anything you want to end with that you can think of?
I think we honestly covered everything. I just hope the listeners honestly understand the passion that's involved in what we're doing
And the benefits.
and the benefits to it too. Yes, yes.
Right? Imagine if you're getting, I started this segment by saying, what does it feel like to have a good night's sleep versus when you're not sleeping well?
Right.
What is that like?
Yeah.
The benefit of getting this cleared up, whatever route you take,
Mm-hmm.
getting your sleep patterns and behaviors corrected
Mm-hmm.
means what? A healthier lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
more effective at work,
Mm-hmm.
probably a better sex life,
Oh yeah.
and happiness, and right? What else? I mean,
I've been saying for years we've been putting couples back together for
oh,
a long time.
that's a big
but
piece of it, huh?
yeah. Oh yeah.
And like
Yeah.
you said, with someone with a CPAP or sleep in a different room, at least they
Mhm.
can have a relationship
Yeah,
again.
with text messaging. But
Yes.
then
And yeah, right?
right. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. Our evaluations are free. I don't charge for those.
It's
So
huge.
we will give you 30 minutes of our time free of charge. That's one thing I just realized I didn't say.
I'm glad you got that in because that's
Yes.
really important. So there's no harm in just reaching out,
Mm-hmm.
scheduling a consultation. It's by phone
Mm-hmm.
and just, is that what you mean? Is that the
Yeah.
piece?
Yeah. Yeah.
So having that brief conversation
Mm-hmm.
is a great place to start
Exactly.
and then see if you want to continue from there.
Exactly. No obligation to buy. We're not salesmen. We're educating. We'll tell you
love it.
exactly what we think. And if you want to move forward, that's where the money aspect comes
good.
in. But to talk to us, no, it's free.
Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
so good. And the website one more time for us.
Taylormadesleep.com.
And then again on Instagram, LinkedIn, and did you say Facebook as well?
Facebook,
Yeah.
yeah. Taylormade Sleep Services on Facebook, LinkedIn, Taylormade Sleep Services, and Instagram, Taylormade_sleep_services.
Wonderful.
Right.
Yay. Thank you. So
Thank
great
you
to
so
get to know
much.
you. You've been listening to Phoenix Business Radio, broadcasting live from the Max 6 Entrepreneurial Center right here in Tempe, Arizona. Some media leans left, some lean right, and we lean business. Until next time, I'm Karen Owicki. Thanks for listening.